Hello and welcome once again, and I do mean once again, to Wandering Monster, the Monster Manual of Podcasts. My name is John Baltusberger.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
Ian Serbas.
Mr. Paschke.
And I'm going in fast forward today because we had a little bit of technical difficulties on the back end, but we are back, we are here, we are now. Now, for those of you who have not seen us before, there are hundreds, thousands, millions of games out there, and there are hundreds being made every single day. Push through Kickstarter, push through Indiegogo, push through MyColon, and like it's an overwhelming amount of games. And instead of going to the store and standing in front of the box thing with the stuff on it,
Advertisements?
The television.
instead of doing that, you come to this, your monitor, and we, the three of us, stand in front of Ian, who's our box thing with stuff on it, and we stare at it in abject terror, and we test out the games for you. So instead of you having to spend money and your sparse spare time as an adult, we spend all of our free time, and like, so you can just like, okay, here's the mechanics, here's the system, here's the story, here's what we like, what we don't like. You can just go and find out exactly what is going to kick your ass. But it is a new year, and we're pumped up. We're so excited for 2023. However, we need to bring it down, calm down. We need to zen out. We need to reach a new level of knowledge and power as gamers, as players, as GMs. We need to reach gaming nirvana. However, we are still fucking metal, so it needs to be on fire, like flaming nirvana on fire, if you will. Ian, what are we playing tonight?
Absolutely. So we are playing Nirvana on Fire. This is actually big. You know, it's sad that no one got to see the first 5 minutes of our initial streams. All this, the death metal screaming John did. How he still has a voice is beyond me. But with that death riff there, Nirvana on Fire Expanded Edition it takes D. Kenny's fantastic module that I've actually ran before at a con, and adds additional content. So this, I think, is one of my favorite things from Magnum Galaxy Press, and it's the art in this is just phenomenal. As you'll see, a little snippet Paschke's kind of put in the overlay, extremely evocative. What really fun about this is the flavor of this setting. The backdrop of this is a neo-Buddhist colony, so it pulls in a bit from Buddhist mythology, a little bit of that culture, but also with that I can't really give too many spoilers here. You'll have to read it for yourself, not to give away all the secrets. There's a high value of production value on the physical items. I know that you were speaking to that earlier, Charles.
Yeah. If you back this on Kickstarter, especially at the higher levels, the quality of the physical products that are on hand are just amazing. The artwork looks even better on a printed page than it does in a PDF, although the PDF version is also available. There's a little pin you can get. I mean, it's super cool, and the design that's been brought to this is, like Ian said, absolutely amazing. Some really cool psychedelic, high contrast, like 60s futurism almost mixed with sort of like neo psychedelica. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
And the other offerings from Magnum Galaxy are fantastic. I mean, I've run the horror of Tau Sigma, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. The Cleaning of Prison, Station Echo, Dying Hard, and Highlight Station. Really fantastic modules. If you'd like mothership content done really well, sometimes I think there's a very thin, brutal sci-fi element that is easy to kind of make, but this is much more rich and evocative, like you're saying with the psychedelia, and it gives a much more robust experience than here's your typical sci-fi trope play. So I
want to point out that we've played a lot of sci-fi over the last 12 months.
Yes.
We've played Death in Space. We've played Through the Void, or Into the Void.
The
Through the Void. Through the Void.
Through the Void, Pork in the Void.
Lots of voids. It just soaked it all in.
We done a lot of sci-fi, and all of them, like, our number one winner, like some of our big winners last week were sci-fi games like Porg and the Void and See You Space Cowboy. Um, what I really love about this is that a lot of different games have a tendency to feel very similar. Um, Mothership has in my opinion, a really solid rule set, and all of the modules I've played for Mothership have been completely different. Ian, you ran one where I was stuck in like a like size VR Second Life module. We played the one that was like constant downpour on the rainy planet, and now we're playing like in a space Buddhist colony. Like, it's really cool how well these various authors and creators create something really unique using this setting and chassis.
And that's a reference to Hideo's World from Tuesday Night Games,
which is really cool.
It's a vaporwave game. So that's really fun. So with that introduction here, how about we introduce our characters and that grand tradition?
I believe that,
it's canon now.
One of the Four Noble Truths might be that I go first and introduce my character. Tonight, I will be playing Barrett Ortega. I am a Marine. My patch on my uniform says upstanding citizen, but then under that it has a dead cop. So it's kind of an ironic patch. I am clad in battle dress. It's actually a mid shin length battle dress. The inside of it's lined in Kevlar, but it's also smart and stylish. I decided to interpret battle dress quite literally, Ian.
All right.
I'm a badass, and that's it.
For reference, the armor protection of advanced battle dress is the highest you can get. So you're wearing a tank dress, apparently.
Yeah, like it's a dress. Just it's a big Kevlar sack, essentially.
Cataphracti armor.
Yeah.
Cataphracti lingerie, really.
Yes, I'm what happens when a Terminator gets sexy. Yeah.
All right,
yeah, sexy as if they're not just like
right out of the gate. Who's next?
Yeah, hey, I created my character on the Mothership app, companion app, which is free on the iStore. I am Yakov Lim. I am a scientist. I am also kind of a beefcake, actually. Yakov believes that the body is part of the muscle that powers the brain, and so like devotes like gets up, has protein, does his cardio, does like 8 hours of hard science, and then does like 2 hours at the gym lifting weights, bro.
Have you? I've got to break in. Have you read Grant Morrison a comic called Flex Mentallo?
No, I haven't.
Because he literally is a superhero that can flex so hard that the power of his flex can like bend your mind or like bend time.
I love that very much.
Blow up
I have read AJ Jacobs' Drop Dead Healthy, in which basically scientists have said like, yeah, man, being healthy and fit is absolutely like makes you better at thinking, and healthy body, healthy mind.
And did you say what your patch was?
My patch is 1 second.
We can roll for it live.
I just need to figure out where it is, because where is all my side shit? Come on, dude. Sorry.
Ian's ready to roll it for you.
I'm gonna roll for it if you don't have it.
I already rolled it. I just have to figure out where it is.
Right, we can come back to you.
Yeah.
All right. And
my patch says powered by coffee. And it is a picture of a robot plugging into a Mr. Coffee.
Love it.
I like that.
All right. So I guess I'm up now. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
All right.
You
Oh,
couldn't
good.
tell by my intense staring in your direction.
I know. So I'm playing Daryl Snow. I'm a Teamster. Well, I gotta get a few things straight here. First of all, I don't see a union representative here. All this out of line. First problem. Second problem, that altar is not to code. First, you have to have an overhead extinguisher system above that because the candles are a fire hazard, and I don't think you're aware of that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my report, but if you got some money, I might let that go.
I really want to see this scene happen while we're playing because there are
Absolutely.
opportunities for that. And
Oh my god. So my dad, what you may not know is my dad is Buddhist.
did
What
not
this
know.
means is I had a
No idea.
What this means is that I had a lot of incense burning in my house growing up, and I really liked it. Yada yada yada. However, one time a girl gave me her number. I set it on my desk, lit some incense, and got to studying. When I came back, the girl's number was on fire. Never did get in touch with her.
It was a sign.
Yeah.
Universe
I
at work.
Yeah.
decided that maybe this was just the world telling me maybe not.
And Mr. Paschke, what is your patch and or trinket for the evening?
Yeah, Daryl's patch is an inverted cross.
Dude,
And-
I'm down with Daryl. Daryl's cool with me.
Yeah, I also have a trinket. I can tell you about that too if you want. But you know,
Oh, I got
I
one of
get
those
there are
too, yeah.
protocols that we don't share all the information.
Okay,
But you
that
know,
is- Then you can save it for an opportune moment. For people who are new to the mothership system, the patch system is just pure flavor. It doesn't have to mean anything, but in a pinch, it can give you a sense about your character, either ironically or same thing with the trinket. Most of them have absolutely no game function to it, but it gives you a little bit of a sense of that character. Why would an android have a pressed alien flower, or why would a scientist have a ball of assorted gauge wire? Well, maybe that one might be self-explanatory, but I was looking randomly off the chart. So,
The
with
patch
that,
thing might be based in part on the U.S. military practice of morale patches for active combat troops. Like, you're not allowed much in the way of personal display, but I actually have the Antifa one on my jacket. So they're wee bitty. They're like little bitty patches, like that size. And that's like all that's allowed on your kit, So it's like a little teeny thing of individuality, which I
Now,
think is kind of
I was in the Boy Scouts. Is it about the size of a merit badge?
it's about twice the size of a merit badge.
Okay.
I'm going to
by
ask
volume.
Sean if that's where he got that from.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, continue.
that is fine. So, with that, we'll go ahead and transition into the game itself. So, the three of you are members of a salvage crew. You have a central organizing company that assigns your teams to various gigs for you to scrap as much salvage as possible so they can reap a lot of money out of it and pass on a little bit of money to you. What was the name of this kind of oppressive salvage operation that you're a part of?
Oscorp.
I was gonna say Oppressive Salvage Incorporated.
That is Oscorp. It is fantastic. And the name of the tin can that you're flying through space.
I'll give someone else that.
Gertrude is the first thing that comes to mind.
I like Gertrude.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Gertrude.
All right. So you have been assigned by Oscorp to a rush salvage job. You've kind of had a normal queue of operational things, and actually this comes at a really good time, because if it wasn't for this kind of intercession, you would be sent back to the interplanar garbage barge, where all of the different solar winds have accumulated trash, and it's a job that nobody wants. So the fact that you're getting something to take you off from that is really exciting. especially something that maybe has gravity and maybe heat and none of those space crabs. So
Now,
you're
isn't there a mothership module that actually is a trash barge?
there is a game called You Got a Job on the Garbage Barge.
Nah, that's what I'm thinking
I've
of.
also
Yeah.
run that at con. That is also a lot of fun. I can, man, one of my favorite NPCs I ever made was in that game. Basically, a giant hot dog with a hot dog for hands and fingers. That was before Everything Everywhere All at Once. But that aside, the Oscorp pipes in through your comm system a pre-recorded message that was intercepted recently. And it goes something like this on a loop. There's a burst of static and there's some kind of odd noise in the background, almost like clanging gongs or some type of maybe like humming. And then you hear more static, and then this is a pre-recorded message. The colony of Sardathus Peace, the colony on Bodasvita 2A requests urgent aid. The power converter for our life support systems is failing. We have a week at most. We require someone to access our terraforming tower where we have a manufactorum to produce new power converters. We have lost access and means of getting to the tower, and we request help. Anyone that helps is able to claim salvage rights to the tower and all of its contents in exchange for urgent aid. This is Abbot Johann Ben Jarowski signing off. And it repeats. Digging a little further, you find out that the colony of Sardathus Peace is a product.
Siddhartha's piece.
Thank you. I'm gonna.
You're welcome.
My speech impediment.
Siddhartha, Gautama, and Bodhisattva.
You're gonna have to keep me on that. My
Okay.
my years of speech therapy were not sufficient, and I've tried to practice. So
I don't
thank
mean
you
to
for-
be a dick.
no, you're not. There are times I'm scream internally where I'm like, I know I'm butchering this. So I do actually appreciate it.
Sure.
Is a product of the Nirvana Institute. And you learn that this is a neo-Buddhist colony that is trying to run a self-sustaining operation through agriculture, and their main export is agricultural goods and fresh water and other things. A very simple colony. This message was received a couple of days ago, so the fact that they said they have about 1 week of backup power reserve is a little bit alarming. And you know that this is a pretty remote colony that will likely freeze to death without your help. So it's either this or the garbage barge. So it just
What-
seems like the winner.
What's their local union chapter's number?
Do you think Oscorp is going to give you that? You're going to.
I think as a member of a union, as a Teamster, I should just know this.
Oh,
can
yes,
can I roll to know
absolutely.
this?
No, you know this. I was just razzing you.
Yeah.
So there is no union there, which automatically kind of makes your hackles go off of the back of your hackles go off of the back of your neck. Because it's a colony. They should all be a religious colony. They should all be working together.
Mhm.
But you've seen enough abuse in your lifetime, Daryl, that everyone can benefit from a union.
Yeah, I agree with Daryl on this one as a human. Everyone needs a
Me-
union.
Yeah, me too. Like, there's actually here in the great state of Utah, there are numerous cases in which polygamist sects get into trouble for using child labor at like an actual factory or like to pick pecans or shit like that because it's part of their religious training, and like that's how they try to skirt the law. So yeah, that's shady as hell. I think though, on the whole, like simple farmers in need of our help. I'm in favor of the mission. Although I will point out that if they're simple farmers, drinking their blue milk and they need a power converter. I don't know why they didn't just go to Tachi Station. I'm done now.
I was fully expecting something to come from that. So thank you.
You're
This-
welcome.
This isn't the module you're looking for.
I mean, bro, we're gonna look, bro. We're gonna help him, bro. Like, obs, right? Like, people need help. Happy to help. Boss man says, "Do it." We do it. Only little concern, Reno here. I'm a biologist, and I like my whole thing is scavenging, biological samples and materials. Not sure what I can do with the tower. Bam!
Did you say that you're a biologist or a swallologist?
That's
He's
a
a
bad joke, and you should
biologist.
feel bad about it, bro.
He's a biologist. He's studying these muscles.
Which way is it to the Petri dish show?
It's that way. It's right over there. But
So
check
what-
out my peg. I don't know.
What kind of tower is it again that has the power, the
It's a
manufacturer in it?
terraforming tower.
This one?
So a terraforming tower is 100% going to have biological components, man. That's like what terraform stuff.
I didn't hear
is.
terraforming, so
Oh, okay, yeah. So
no.
as a terraforming tower, it's A, valuable, and B, going to be chock full of delicious biological samples. So
sorry, I was slamming my protein shake. I missed that part.
Just
all
like
right.
scoop after scoop of creatine, you're soylent. Like
he just he puts so much in that it's more of like cramming Play-Doh down his gullet
Yeah.
than drinking the protein. Yeah.
I biologically engineered protein-rich mushrooms that prepare themselves.
Ooh. Oh, did you hear that they've cloned the first like meat for consumption or whatever?
I've heard
Is
that.
that new though? I feel like I've heard of that before.
Well, I mean, like honest, I think it's like on a scale. First of all, they've tested it and it is edible and not going to like kill you or whatever. And,
That's good.
and yeah, but
Well, that's really the
so-
first step.
Yeah.
You don't
I
make
mean-
meat go, can you eat it now?
I'd hate to be the guy who has that job to be like the first guy after the monkeys who's like, all right, gonna take me a big bite of this fat grown flesh.
Bobo was able to eat it. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, exactly. All
Fucking
right, yeah,
Bobo.
I think we're of a consensus that we need to get Gertie up to speed and head in the direction of that station.
Start gathering all of my information to drop off about like how to unionize the benefits of unions.
Pamphlets,
Yeah, ham.
buttons,
Lots of like
hats.
flyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fantastic. So you have your packet ready to go. Any other types of pre-mission actions that you're wanting to do besides getting unionization and as much creatine in your body as possible?
It's a lot of creatine. I'd be careful what you ask for from John. So I do have one question. I have a heads-up display as part of
Yes.
my equipment. It says two things that I have a question about. First of all, it says that it allows me to see through the body cameras of others in my unit, like other Marines. But there aren't any other Marines on my team. So does that not work?
So if you have other people that have equipment that has cameras on it, so
Mhm.
depending on which armor, so looking at everyone else's equipment, it could be on the Yakov's hazard suit that might also-
I have on my hazard suit again, all on the app, guys. I have a short range comms and radiate. Like, yeah, I don't have the camera. I do have a bioscanner that you could probably tap into, though.
Okay, cool. And then the second one, I think I just answered my own question. It says that it can also work with technology that's been SmartLink upgraded, weapons that have been SmartLink up. And I have a
Your
general
machine gun.
purpose, general purpose machine. gun,
Actually,
so-
Ian, I just used some of my credits to buy. I used 50 of my credits to buy a body cam.
All right, well there
So-
you go.
All
So
right.
you are
Cool.
hot linked into Yakov's camera, and you could also synchronize that with your machine gun. So if you wanted to post that somewhere make a turret or to do other types of fancy tricks, you could certainly do so.
Keep watch over a hallway or something.
Exactly.
Can I
Neat.
also get a camera, but I don't want to put it on me. I want to put it in my item.
Absolutely. That'll be something that you have purchased in between your mission operations, because you guys are a close-knit unit. You've been through lots of different
Speaking of
types
which, I'm
terrors in
gonna
the void.
also buy a extra body cam and hide it in the shower on board the Gertrude.
Nice.
I
I
have
also bought a scalpel, and now I'm out of credits.
this is the first time in ever you guys have bought things. Basically,
It's
this is
true.
interesting. This is
Yeah,
like
we-
this is the new year, new first.
There's
right out the gate.
buttons. I just tap it and it does it for me.
All right. So
Cool.
Let
you-
that be a lesson to anyone who makes a game. I will use your in-game economy and inventory management if you build an app for it.
I absolutely will not. On the other hand,
Yeah, Charles on the other hand says, "Fuck you."
Neither Charles really
I'll
will.
be a little mad at. No, yeah, Charles
don't do
Bernard would be a little
boxes
mad at.
in my games. So you are approaching the terraforming tower. You see that this moon that the colony is on, besides the giant dome that goes over the colony, it looks like barren dead rock. It certainly seems like a poor choice for a colony, just starting to come into this very thin atmosphere. Looking down into the colony dome, you could see that already there are signs of distress. The extensive agro farms look to be browning or just dead, barren patches, and their little reserves of water. Even from here, you can see the giant salt crust on the edge of it. It just definitely looks like things are pretty dire. The spaceport on top of the terraforming tower doesn't. It seems to be that you've got the access codes to land, and that you can dock right into the port.
So before or as we're docking, like just as part of what I would consider standard procedure, I would want to send a message back to South, Heartless Bastard Incorporated or whatever we decided it was, Oscorp, right? And let them know that like there's a humanitarian crisis, that they need transport and blah 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 blah. So
all right, so you open up the comms to hail Oscorp, and roll me D10.
you got it. Oh, that's a 6.
So when you try to tap into Oscorp, there's a warble of static that then turns into a wall of hissing. In the background, you hear the sounds of clashing gongs, like giant brass objects smashing together, and some like almost muttering voices.
That sounds like a damn good album.
And almost sounds like coming from Orkborg.
I
You
would definitely
hear-
listen to that, though, guys.
In like a serene but very stern chanting voice, you hear, "Many gods reside in heaven, but in this place only Bishamonten cares for the flesh of man."
I wonder if cares for
Okay.
the flesh of man is like to serve man, Like if he cares for it as in takes care of it, or cares for it as in prefers it over beef,
It plays for several loops before your connection that you're striving to make is just forcibly severed.
Okay, cool. All right, well I tried. All right, I'm gonna arm myself, obviously, and you guys want to go check out the docks? I hear the docks is where the crime is at.
Here, the docks are where I might have some people that I can relate
I'm going to take a
That is
lesson
where you'll
from.
find the Teamsters, yeah.
I'm going to take a lesson from Shenmue and look for some sailors.
Are you trying to get a game of Lucky Hit?
And play with some kittens.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So when you step out into the space dock, you see that there are a couple of outdated ships that look like they've been scuttled. there's a thick layer of dust on all of the ships, and then just piles upon piles of just boxes heaped up against one of the walls. From your view, you can see that you have a like a platform leading up to like a solid glass wall with double doors set into it. It almost looks like from here there's something colorful beyond, like maybe it's a reception area. Over on your side to the west, you see that there is a industrial wall that looks like it's been scratched to hell and back with like deep claws, and almost an airlock like door that says Com Arrays Observatory above it. Other than
Clauses
that,
are interesting.
it's pretty quiet here. The air is slightly thin, breathable, dusty, with like a hint of old ashen incense. Since you're stepping out first, Barrett, give me another D10.
You got it. That is a 2, regrettably. Or possibly good. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to find out. Your sense, if you're trained military senses, you hear something gasping or gurgling coming from the heap of boxes.
All right, I'm going to let my companions know that I've heard something and am going to check it out. I have a flashlight as well. So I'm going to turn that sucker on and point it at the boxes. Does that illuminate them any better?
Nothing seems to stir in the light of your beam. You just see that these are various. I mean, most of them are like cardboard, like a cardboard-like substance. Some are old, like aluminum boxes. Um, The markings on them are kind of illegible from just the abuse the boxes have taken, but you kind of get the feeling that they're probably supply boxes.
All right, I'm going to go over there and inspect the boxes more closely. I'm curious what that gasp was. And I do have plus 10% on military training. And I'm surprised surveillance isn't on here. But yeah, I would think that military training would include like clearing an area.
It is. So it's kind of the basic training provided to all military personnel. So it is kind of a catch-all.
Mhm.
It also, if the mothership rules, it gives a couple of other benefits that are already calculated into your sheet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to poke around in the boxes and see if I can't find whatever was gasping.
Okay. While you start poking around in boxes, what are you two doing, Yakov and Daryl?
Yakov and Daryl.
So do I see anyone that I could potentially persuade to join the Union?
So far, it's empty. There's no reception. You know that the colony requested your help. They did mention that they aren't able to access the tower for some reason. Again, it was kind of a pre-recorded message, so there may be nuance lost, but you don't see anyone. You have a feeling like this almost seems like abandoned.
Which would make sense with the, degradation of the facility and everything. The
Right.
thin atmosphere. Obviously, the terraforming hasn't been going well. All right.
So yeah, I guess just gathering around, waiting to see what the noise was.
All right. Well, you see that Barrett is, starting to dig through these boxes. You hear objects rattling inside the boxes, but as you're moving the boxes, you're hearing this sound. It's wet. It's rattling, and you start to see the outline of like a figure. in between the boxes, sprawled. He's wearing brown and black robes, and the person's skin is just this gray, almost corpse-like color with giant liver spots. There's
So John is our Magos biologist or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell out like medic.
You see, like, as you're calling out, the person has this kind of palsied hand reaching out for you. He doesn't have eyes in his head. Like, they're just gone.
Oh, bro, that's bad. They're supposed to have eyes there.
You know, that's a workman's comp violation right there. They're paying you for that, right? They have to give you time off so you can go and get that looked at. Don't let
I
them
know,
just force you in.
Daryl.
Yeah.
We're members of the union, bro. You don't have to like. I'm paid up.
Oh, I was talking to the eyeless.
Yeah, yeah. No matter what state he's in, it's in fact he's in the perfect state to hear about the benefits of a union.
He's like choking on his own secretions. His
I
chest.
stand by my
Fine.
statement.
I'm gonna bend down next to him. I was about to take like first aid, and then I decided to go full Xeno. Yeah. I have botany, pathology, zoology, exobiology.
Yeah, but pathology is the study of diseases and/or vectors of
Yeah. What I don't have is surgery. But I could make I could probably go for it though.
Out of the three of us, you are by far the most qualified.
I'm also the one with the scalpel.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna try to. Should I look? Hey, listen, Ian, who works in healthcare.
Yes.
I want to remind you that I've gotten my working knowledge of medicine from watching
Tracheotomy.
reruns of House while drunk. So I'm going to perform a tracheotomy.
you're not even gonna like check. Okay, all
I
right.
love having you finish the description of this person. And you're like, no eyes. He's not breathing very well. Quick, an operation. Like, we're here to help you. Like,
I'm a barber.
Yeah.
oh my god.
Okay, Ian, how about this? How
Barber from
about
the
I want to
19th century or
use
18th century,
I want to use my skills as a medical professional to see what's going on and see if I can find out what is causing the distress other than the missing eyes.
All right. So this is a very unusual case as you start to move more boxes aside. Two things. Go ahead and make me that pathology roll. So
Okay.
that's going to be your intellect, and you're adding your plus 15 to that. So dang, that's
Okay.
70 right
That's a-
there.
Wait,
Yep.
plus 15. Isn't that like a half? Wouldn't there be a half in? Oh, plus 15, not percent.
Yes, 15.
Gotcha.
Yes, 15%. Correct.
Wait, but
All right.
15%.
So D100 roll, and rolling under. I rolled well under 70.
All right, fantastic. Don't forget, in this game, if you roll doubles, either for good or bad, that's a crit. So make sure you
I
let me
rolled a
know if that's
51, so no doubles this
I
time.
was just reminding you and the audience.
If you
And
roll doubles, you have to pull one fingernail off with a pair of pliers on camera.
Let's do it, motherfucker.
Our
All right.
viewership just goes through the fucking roof.
so as you pull out your bioscanner and you start to analyze this person, as Barrett is moving boxes and Daryl is talking about the virtues of joining a union, you see that
No, I'm just covering like things that he is like legally they're obligated to do this for him.
He's acting as a social worker, basically.
I actually really appreciate him being like, okay, he's doing this. If you want him to stop saving your life at any time, raise to like he's giving the whole like legal protection for me, and I appreciate it greatly. As someone who is about to perform an unnecessary tracheotomy.
a wildly unnecessary tracheotomy.
You keep it up, I'll give you one too.
as you are educating your peers about the optimal way to perform a tracheotomy, the man, as you think it's a man, gurgles his last and slumps to the floor, and thick rivulet of some fluid. It's viscous, pours out of his mouth. You see that as you pull back his robe and pull back these boxes, he has crazed white hair, but then just the flesh on one of the side of his face is just sloughed off, like it's just melted like wax. As you look into
Yeah,
his
it's not supposed to
empty
do that, guys.
eye sockets, you notice that on his other hand, his fingers end with eyeballs on the tips.
Oh shit.
Mm,
You're just face
Yeah.
to face with this person. I'm gonna have you at this point roll me a fear check here.
Okay. That is.
As I like the fact that we
a-
didn't even get the description of this person out before you moved to like try to cut this person open before seeing
It was quite
how
prompt.
mangled
Let's
this
see.
body's
We're
Remind me
trying
what
to
a fear
help.
check is.
Very prompt.
Oh,
so-
it's
for you. That's actually your worst stat, or one of
Yeah.
your worst stats.
yeah,
At
it's
25.
it's not a great one for me. Mother she, okay, dice D100 roll. Oh my god. I rolled right on. I rolled 25.
All right.
Well, if
So
you're
you
at that means you beat, right?
swallow your rising bile as you stare at this thing, and if it weren't for your many years of studying your exobiology, you would probably have just tossed all of your protein shake. But you
Hey,
Bone
remain
chunks
resolute.
on the sick guy, just
I'm-
like the bedside
uh,
manner of
I
like,
can-
let me
I
have a look
have
at
the-
that injury.
I just remembered my next gross out story. It involves a Ziza swimming in the ocean. Anyway,
Oh, good.
And-
I kind of look up from him. Hey, Daryl, you got the info on this sector. I don't suppose this sector is populated by groups that have fingers on their eyes instead of their face. Like, don't suppose it's some weird mutation. No.
Okay. I not common. I go through like my union manual. I'm
There's
like,
no like Pan's Labyrinth guy union or whatever.
they skipped over that part of Beetlejuice.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Union doesn't have a policy for this yet, but I'm gonna make a note to it. We're gonna
Thank
submit
you.
this, and it'll definitely be covered in the future.
Yeah,
I think we can
there'll
probably
be a
all
committee
agree
that'll
this
form a committee
this
that'll form a
death
committee.
was not due to medical malpractice or inattention.
Yes, yeah, I think you're in the clear, John. Go ahead.
Since you were going to perform a tracheotomy and you were very much
Still,
looking,
don't test me.
I mean, you could go ahead and dissect them now
For science, I mean,
I might
Yeah.
actually need to do that. Yeah.
yeah.
for xenobiology. I mean, that's humans don't have eyeballs on our fingertips. That'd be kind of
he-
cool.
So Ian, jokes aside, I am going to take some samples of the slough off face and the goo, secretions, all the stuff that is not normal for a person to have.
And I'll
Great.
just be examining the body to see, like, is there any obvious cause of death, like gunshots or other than the face sloughing off? Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
like, does it look like they were in any sort of battle?
no, there's no signs of trauma. And
okay.
when you're going to get the samples, you notice as you're scraping this gel away from his face or this substance, there's something around his neck, like on like a chain. If you
I'm
pull-
I'm wearing gloves as I do this. Well,
Okay.
I guess I'm wearing a hazard suit, so it's all glove, baby.
Oh, is that
Um,
what your like outfit is? Is a hazard suit? That's
Yeah.
handy.
Well,
That's super
yeah.
handy. Yeah, I'm getting the fuck away from this guy. Then you can handle it.
Yeah, I'm wearing a hazard suit, so I'm good, bro. It's a specially tailored hazard suit, so it fits over my swole muscles.
You sure it's
I'm-
not ripped off at the sleeve there?
Fucking Joe Garcia.
Hazmat
I
suit.
love you,
with the
Joe. If
sleeves
you're
ripped
watching, I
off?
love you, but
No, it's got
fucking
clear
waist
parts
sleeve,
of
you
his muscles. So it's like what, yellow or blue, and then like just clear plastic over the
I
arms.
love that.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Future
Okay.
fashion. That'd be great.
Sorry. So I'm wearing and, like they're like almost booty shorts. I'm very proud of my science body.
Real quick, John. I was reading a 40K book today, and there was an orc in it that was wearing shorts made out of human flesh,
I
and
love
that
it.
made me laugh so fucking hard because I just pictured them as cargo shorts, or like maybe it's like an ear or like a butthole. I don't know, but like it's just an orc wearing shorts. Not
No, I'm
not a
wearing like
cloak.
hot pants.
Yeah.
I'm wearing hazard hot pants. Anyway, so Ian, so I can see the look of resignation on Ian's face as we talk about orc booty shorts.
I haven't even finished describing this person and like the stuff you're doing to him. So I'll be here when you're ready.
Oh, One Ring Monster, we're back, baby. With that in mind, I'm getting all these stuff. I reach down and I'm going to take whatever's on his neck off his neck.
Thank you. So it is a administrator key card.
Handy.
Is it gross at all? Is there schmutz on it?
Probably.
A
I'm
little bit,
asking.
there's a little bit of like flesh on it. Like it's just a coil of detached flesh. There's no
I
blood.
don't think I have anything to sanitize with.
Just wipe it off on the suit.
And do you use your bioscanner over the samples that you have collected?
Yeah, I'm going to study them, see if there's anything that's contagious or might come at me, bro.
Sure. It actually, you get your results back very quickly, and it's not a bodily fluid. It's biogel.
Which is?
It's
I mean, I know, but why don't you tell like the Charlesies what it
I'll
is?
tell them since they're not science geeks.
Right.
Exactly.
Uh,
John knows.
So biogel is a common substance that's used in androids and in synthetics and cybernetics. That is I mean, you could use it also for medical capacity for healing and coating like wounds, especially burn victims. It's almost like something like Bacta gel from, if you want to bring it back to Star Wars. So it's a multi-purpose synthetic medical goo.
Sounds like a thing that you need a certification to handle. I'm pretty sure John's the only one here with that kind of certification, so I'm not touching it.
Yeah, me neither.
We
I will
need to
say though,
Make OSHA the game.
yeah. So like the recording on that was on a loop said something about, I can't remember the name of the deity, but it said something about cares for the flesh of man. I think like this medical / Bacta gel puts an interesting angle on it. So I don't know. I would like to use the network administrator card to go see if I can access any sort of like system, tower system, internal diagnostics or what have you.
Sure. As you were looking for like a console or something to tap into, you're not immediately seeing anything that looks like that you can put data input in. Since this is the space dock itself, it's meant to be protected against like void. So those type of census systems are usually more internal just in case of catastrophe. But what you do notice is that there are cameras in the corners of this place, and they're all pointing in towards you, and they're tracking your movement.
That's what I was gonna ask, is if they're tracking. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give the cameras a saucy little wave, But other than that, there's how many doors
You think,
leading?
but you're not sure. You think that you see a quick flicker of the camera back, but maybe that's just your wishful thinking.
I would like to do a full scan using my ground or my subsurface scanner. So
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
That's real handy.
So I take out my taxidermied cat and I put it on the ground and I open up the panel that the scanner's in and I start pushing the buttons.
So the cat is your scanner?
Yeah, it's also got my camera built into the mouth.
Have you been watching
So-
the Buzz Lightyear movie?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I take it from that's a plot point or a character.
Yes.
That robotic cat. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
mine's
like
got
it anyway.
fur,
Yeah,
and it
it's a
smells like
taxidermy cat.
almonds.
Exactly. It's not a. It smells like almonds.
Yeah.
Are there almonds in there?
Wouldn't you like to know?
What an amazing answer. Thank you, Batchkey.
So, a quick distinction here: your taxidermy cat, which
Yeah.
is a trinket for people who are curious. So you've put your subsurface scanner in that.
Mhm.
Is it just the subsurface scanner, or are you in
think
essence
it's-
treating this like? Is there also a computer module in this? Is it also more multifunctional?
So when I got my camera so that John can use his ability to see through what I see, the camera is
That's my
mounted.
ability, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. When Charles got that ability, I put the camera inside the cat's mouth, so
I
there's
was
visibly
really
a
scared for
camera
a
just
second.
sticking out.
Okay. So I'm
But
getting
I'd like to report from being on the receiving end of that broadcast. It's not sticking out quite far enough, so there's like cat teeth framing the picture whenever I look through that. That's all.
It's also a water filter, but I don't want to get into mechanically how that works yet.
all right. So you have basically you have a lot of computerized things in your cat module. Fantastic. So you use your cat, and what's the data that you're wanting to get back that's most pertinent from you? Because you're going to get a lot of different types
Well, a
of data.
cat scan.
Go to hell.
I do my cat scan for life forms.
2023 is going to be a great season, y'all. All right.
Is this the season we drive Ian mad?
One can hope.
Dry January is a real no. I'm just kidding.
That's
why
this
I'm
is
not as
not the
patient
month
with
to
you
stop
all.
drinking.
I picked the wrong month to stop sniffing glue.
That's right.
Airplane reference. No one else.
Mm,
All right.
I laughed.
Thank you. All right. So you are using your surface scanner to get what piece of data are you wanting to most determine? If there's motion, like in an area, is there a certain composition of X, Y, Z? Are you pointing it down to the surface below you, like the colony surface? Give me a little more of what you want, and then I can give you the appropriate data back.
Generally trying to get a feel for the immediate area, trying to figure out, like, is the dead guy the only thing here?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as you kind of just pan around to see if there are general forms of organic life or things that might be an immediate threat, you see that the cooling form on the deck, this body temperature is already dropping faster than a normal person should, which is weird. But what's strange is that observatory that's just over there, there's something or someone in there. You get that heat signature knowing that there is something there.
That's the one with the claw marks by the door, right?
Yeah.
All right, I think we have our destination in my boat.
And if you point it towards the kind of reception area, there doesn't seem to be any motion or heat signatures of note.
Okay. I relay that to my comrades.
I vote observatory.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess
John, you good with that?
Yes. Sorry, I zoned out a little bit.
All right.
All right. So who is going to be taking point?
Oh, me,
And-
naturally.
All right.
I've got the
ro-
administrator's card and the gun. Yeah.
roll me d10.
Okay.
I also love the fact that having run this before in the original Unmastered, this is going wildly different than my other playthroughs. So
Well, part
this
of that
is
is
going to be
because
very interesting.
I can't roll for shit because that's a 2 again.
All right. Pashki, excuse me. Daryl, roll me. If it is within the allotment of union actions for this time,
Yeah.
if you've already taken your required break for the day.
Oh no, I've got about 2 more rolls before I have to take a break. So that's union mandated. I can't change that. Otherwise, I'll get in trouble. I mean, I
You don't
have
want
to
that.
do it. Yeah. So what am I? I'm rolling 2d10 for
1d10.
1d10. All right. Then I'll take my 4.
Okay. Great. So when you approach this door, you see that it is actually locked down, requiring an administrator's access. So the
Which
fact
I
that you
have.
the key,
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
lets you enter into this space. The first thing that hits you is this strong, almost overwhelming smell of burning incense. In fact, smoke kind of pools at your feet as first when you open up the door. It's that thick. There's something behind that smell that you can just get the edges of, but are completely masked by that sandalwood,
Oh, I've got an idea
patchouli.
what they're covering up with that incense. I've got an idea or two.
It's actinic and also coppery. Some maybe something different.
Hmm.
You see that there is a communication console that spans the width of this chamber that you see. It's a sizable chamber, but across all of the consoles are just countless tapers, like tapered candles that are just melted wax across the boards. There are prayer flags that are draped across this room that have darkened with the sheer amount of incense that has been burnt here. There is a expansive view by these large bay windows that look out into the space beyond, and you can see the stars twinkling brightly. The room itself is not lit save for all those candles, and there is some type of mass or shape that is in front of what looks to be a shrine, and it is
I'm
muttering and chanting to itself.
I'm gonna
Radical.
shine my flashlight on it.
All right, so you see that this is a hunched figure. Um, it it's confusing because you can't tell if this thing is squatting, kneeling, sitting, or if it's just standing. But it's almost a large hump of a person with their back towards you, stained, dirty robes, and you can't really make out anything beyond that, as if it's almost a giant hump.
Well, John's got the hazmat suit, so I nominate him for point of contact.
Okay.
I got you covered, man. I'm back here with the, general use machine gun.
Yeah, I pull my
Stool
You drop
apart?
your machine gun.
Gratefully work.
It was.
I pull my trank pistol out and kind of, walk with it behind my back. Because everything about espionage I learned from playing Hitman. Hey bro.
It still is muttering and chanting. You can tell that it's a rhythmic prayer, and you hear the clacking of prayer beads as the figure is chanting. Stops for just a moment, and you think that they're going to respond to you, but instead, you hear the slap of some type of column of metal, and then a ring of bells, and then the thing repeats itself.
Dude, I do my daily mantras too. I am strong enough. I am smart enough. I will unlock the mystery of immortality in sharks and fungi. I look good without a shirt. I do my mantras too every single day. It's important for your mind, body, and soul. However, what's not great for the body is if all this stops working and you all choke to death on lack of oxygen. I'm a doctor. I know science. lack of oxygen is one of the ways, not the only one, but one of the ways that humans die. Actually,
One of the
not everyone
many,
knows that.
many ways.
So, as you repeatedly hail this person, there's this exasperated sigh that it rolls out, and you see with the force of the sigh that the whole hump of its body moves and judders, and then there are things almost moving inside the hump.
Well, I
as-
do hate that. Actually, consensus, Charles,
it-
y'all hate that?
You see
Yeah,
that it's beginning
not-
to
not a fan.
rise from the floor. And
I'm half tempted to open fire, but part of me wants to see what it is.
Can I CAT scan it?
So this is, you can start to do that, but this is starting to happen in real time here. Is you, I guess, sure, you want to fire off you're getting macro data with that subsurface scanner because you're using it to scan things from a distant or from orbit. So here it's a little close quarter, other than you know that it's mostly organic? Question mark. As you,
Yeah. I've got my flashlight and my gun pointed at it, but again, I kind of want to see the show first.
all right.
Yeah.
So the thing turns and looks at you. Its legs have unfurled from the hump, and you see that they're a combination between Cronenbergian spider legs and mechanical, almost erector set like legs. Its flesh is completely bandaged in this oozing gauze bandages. Its face is just mostly bandage with like too large of eyes for a normal person. One of its arms looks to be relatively of a normal human arm, but burly and covered in hair, while the other one looks to be like a soft, meaty pseudopod.
Cool.
Now, Ian, is the stuff oozing from behind these bandages? Does it appear, at first glance at least, to be the same biogel I found on our eyeless friend?
This is red and white. You're pretty sure these are just oozing, festering wounds. I'm going to
Delicious.
have all of you roll me a fear save as you look upon this thing.
You'd better
with a
hope I
r-
pass this.
Wet, misshapen mouth with far too many rows of teeth. It says, "Welcome." You.
Oh, if he's been welcoming, why do I need to roll fear?
Well, you're looking at what looks to be an absolutely mangled person, and it was kind of a
Yeah,
slightly menacing welcome.
I guess. Okay, fine. Now, what if?
Uh-oh.
Here we
Bargaining.
go.
Are we
fucking
going to go full
bargaining.
Kubler-Ross on this?
Now, what if? Do I get advantage if, say,
No.
we're not doing Orc Morg on this tonight.
I failed pretty badly.
All
I
right.
passed. I rolled a straight up 9, which is great.
All right.
Because if a
And-
Marine panics, everybody in the party gains like an extra level of panic.
Yeah, that's correct. And Daryl, what about you?
So I'm rolling off a 35, right? So I rolled my D10 twice and I got a 46.
All right. So the two of you are stressed by seeing this malformed thing. To see the human form disfigured so much as an inevitable reminder of your own mortality and your weakness and all the horrible things that Cronenberg itself and his flesh horror. You're just looking at a perversion of the natural order, and it rattles you. So both you gain 1 stress, and you'll need to make me a stress check, which is your D20, and you're trying to roll over your stress.
Is this by you two? You mean the other two, right?
Yes, the people who
Okay,
failed.
yeah.
You are resolute. If anything, your Marine training has helped you to keep your cool, and you're doing your threat analysis.
And my threat analysis is gross.
So, I passed my stress check.
Okay.
I have a question now
Yes.
that I have slowly conquered my fear. And that question is, while this is nightmarish to see in a human, does it remind me of any Xenos biology or configuration that I'm familiar with?
This is clearly not an alien. I mean, looking
I
at
know,
no, I'm
but
saying like that makes it pretty. I see what you're saying. If you're asking if it's like a genetic splice kind of a thing, or is it just are you
Or even if
talking
it's
about?
reminiscent of how another species has
All right,
modified itself.
I'm also kind of saying like, look, my character's entire thing is studying various
Weird shit.
sure.
Yeah.
Well,
like horrible things for humans to encounter in
absolutely,
a pretty terrible universe. So
absolutely.
I'm like,
We're gonna
okay, hey, you know what? This one might actually starts mutating its human host to be pretty monstrous. Like
uh,
anything like that, anything similar.
sure
Uh,
thing.
can I glean any sort of knowledge?
We'll put a pin in that. I need to see what Daryl's response was. Daryl, did you make your stress check?
That's a little freaky, but I think I mean, we can still get you in. Dues would probably be a little less since I don't think you're gonna be as functional. But we're fine.
All
We're
right.
good with this.
Yeah.
So the morphology of this creature is similar to some type of Xenos things that you've encountered, but it's distinctly separate enough that you can see that there are no actual traces of other species or things in this. You see that its form has a lot of mechanical elements into it that are hardwired into it.
Ah, okay.
Uh,
So that's what I was trying to figure out earlier with the biogel. I wonder.
So does anybody have anything that fucks with something's electrical field?
I can do mechanical repair, jerry rigging, industrial equipment. Is this an industrial human?
I mean, it is now.
it's not a standardized equipment, so it wouldn't be something that you would have gotten training at the guild hall.
I mean, you never really get that much
You don't
training. You
need
just
to,
kind
like
of
it
jump
said
in and figure it
welcome.
out,
You don't need to fight it yet.
Yeah, you don't really want to fight at all. You just feel the mood, put on some music, and
Yep.
manipulate the industrial
See where
equipment.
things take you.
So, hello, thank you for welcoming
Yeah.
us. I am a man who has forgotten. I am Yakov Lim, Doctor Yakov Lin, actually. In case you have any need.
He laughs at that as if you were going to be saying more. There's this wet laughter that also has the sound of a grinding of gears in his chest. And he goes, I have no need of such things. And this like things drool out of his mouth. I am made perfect and I am whole.
Nice.
Yeah, you have a lot of parts. That's that is accurate. There's this cartoon I used to watch as a kid, an old Earth cartoon, where a Xenos stuffed its body full of organs because it felt like the more human organs it had inside it, the more like
So
the more
healthy.
human it was.
Wait, which one was that? I'm not
That's
familiar.
Invader Zim.
Oh, okay. I
I
should know that.
You also seem to have a lot of parts in you. Is that what you mean by made whole?
Yes, it has been remaking us so that we can live forever and in perfect harmony with
And do you intend to continue your agricultural endeavors and import export?
those things are inconsequential.
I'm imagining him sucking a tentacle into his mouth like a strand of spaghetti because it just like drooled out, like mid sentence, just being like, "Excuse me."
This Bishu Mountain has been working to save us all from disaster.
Bisu Mountain?
That is also why we're here, actually, but without the that.
Let me talk to you about this equipment here. Now,
This is important, actually.
This
I'm
is our
noticing-
ambassador. Yeah.
what appears to be some you didn't misappropriate company property into yourself, did you? Because that's technically theft against the corporation, and the union has rules against that. And
I'm the corporation.
Can you ring the corporation real quick and see if he rings?
well, you see, if you are the
Kimba.
corporation, I
And
technically
I-
can't continue this conversation.
Not
Once
without a
a day.
rep present. That's
Yeah.
damn sure.
Every one of them, man. Bezos, Musk, once a day iPad. I am the company.
So I say we kill him.
Yeah, dude, I opened fire. That's enough of that shit. So
Oh,
yeah.
You
I was
interrupted
interested in becoming whole.
mid-exposition. All right.
No.
Um,
Okay, all right.
No,
I'll
no, no,
listen
no,
to
no.
more
You said
exposition.
no. You this is exactly what happened with Orkborg. If you want,
Yeah.
if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do.
I've
it was
had
Pork in
enough.
the Void, not Orkborg.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I meant to say that. I meant then when earlier I said Orkborg.
And I want to point out
thinking
that it wasn't me this
Orkborg.
time.
Look, I'm a Marine. I am a hammer looking for a nail, and I just found one funky fucking nail. So, yeah, you're damn right. I'm going to open up. Let's see. General purpose machine gun. I like to imagine it comes in a box that is labeled machine gun for general purposes. 'Cause,
White box, black font.
yeah, exactly. And I think that you fucked up, Ian, because you said that it's one can of ammo is 6 shots in a machine gun.
It's a drum of ammo, since you're basically doing salvos.
6 shots is anyway. Okay,
It-
yeah.
It's like 6
Six
shots of
bursts.
100 bullets each.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna open fire with that. So, do I need to roll advantage, or do I just get the drop on him?
So basically, how this is going to work is that again, the initiative system is a little bit different. That all of you are going to see what your actions are, and then we're going to resolve them kind of at once. So you're going to be laying out a salvo towards this
Ugly
figure.
monster face. Yeah.
Can
Exactly.
you move in such a way where I am not between you and
I'm not
it?
gonna shoot you. Yeah, I'm aiming over you. Don't worry. You might feel a little like your hair might get parted, but you'll be fine.
Daryl Hyaka.
I am going to swing my scalpel directly at the big eye.
All right. So wait. He's going to be laying out a salvo, and you're going to be closing in with melee.
I'm not closing in with shit. I'm standing there already.
Wait,
you-
when did you get so close to
Yeah.
the?
When did you get so
I
close?
walked right up to him. That's what I was like talking to him.
Oh, I was unclear on walk right
yeah.
up to him, or I wouldn't have opened fire.
Well,
I
see,
thought
this
we
is
were
why we're
all
doing all this
addressing
at
him
once.
from. I thought we were all addressing him from a safe distance.
Oh, there was no safety here.
Oh,
I
I thought so too. All right, if that's how you're.
Then
we're
I'm not
play.
gonna open fire if you're like standing in front of this fucking thing. Like you're in trouble now. You got to get yourself out of trouble.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we retcon that instead of me just saying like, yeah, let's kill him? Like, hey, buddy, can you come here a sec? I gotta show you this really cool thing in my cat. Trying to get us to regroup.
maybe
I think that it's much more dramatic if we play it out with the Yakov's in a real bad spot, and the
yeah, I
other
agree.
two
Like,
of
let's
you,
go
like,
with it. Let's roll
All
with
right,
it.
all
All
right.
right. I ready my flare
So-
gun.
all right. So you pull out your flare. Is that in the tail of your cat?
Yeah.
All right.
I turn the cat backwards. I lift the tail up. There's a little button at the very end, and the flare is sticking out the pooper.
Nice. Very
And
nice.
as with all flare guns, it goes off with the sound of "woo."
All right. So we have flare gun queued up, scalpel queued up, and then what about you, Bear?
I am
Shoot 'em.
firing with my machine gun for general purposes, which is
Okay, so
2d10.
But he'll- I recommend you like strafe to the side, so it's not directly through me.
You'll get whatever's coming your way. Don't worry.
All right. Okay. We'll play this out. Give me 1 second here. Who wants to make a speed check for the group?
1 second. Let me look here.
See if who's going.
Not me, actually.
I might as well.
All right, go for it.
Okay, that is a 0-7. Fuck.
That you beat me. All right. So this flows out in the order of operations. So Yakov, you whip your scalpel out and you lunge at the figure that is identified as Gemda, and lashing out towards one of his bulbous eyes. In fact, it's so bulbous you can see yourself on the surface of his wet eye as you
That's a
lunge
bulbous
forward.
ass eye.
Go ahead and make me your combat check.
Combat 32. Dun, dun, dun. I rolled a 9.
All right, fantastic. And your damage.
3. But directly to the eye.
Okay. All right. We'll play this out as soon as everyone takes their actions. All right, so Daryl, you have a flare ready to go. Go ahead and make me your combat check as well.
So 2 D10s makes 37. On
All right.
combat, yeah, which I got 46.
Nice.
So pass.
Okay. Fantastic. And then last but not least, Barrett.
So let's see. I've got advantages on athletics, military training, industrial equipment. That's fine. I'll just use the regular. So that's let's see. 1 cannon arm, 6 shots, 2d10 damage. Let's see. So I have to roll to see if I actually hit you first, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And that is a 17.
All right. So everything kind of slows down for a cinematic moment here. Yakov, you slash out with your scalpel, and as you lunge forward, that pseudopod-like aspect of an arm wraps around your wrist and holds your knife just millimeters in front of its eye. And with his wet mouth, he just says, "You dare strike the prophets? It's foolish." And you see underneath his robe, he uncoils a
Like that.
object on some type of like pneumatic hose, and you hear the sound of a pilot light turning on. Roll me a body save.
Okay.
Does that like save his entire body?
A bit.
I have good news and bad news.
All right.
The bad news is I failed.
Good
What's
news.
the
The
good
good news is that I critically failed.
Oh, so this is really fantastic.
I know.
All right. So what's been happening behind the scene is been rolling the post combat checks and other things for speed for this figure. So you hear this whoomp sound of a flamethrower that is getting to queue up. Daryl, you fire your flare, and as the figure is distracted with about to immolate Yakov, your flare actually does connect, and it lands in his shoulder and starts to ignite his robe. What was the damage that you rolled for that?
Damage was on a D20, right?
Your damage for the flare gun is it's D5, so you're gonna roll
D5.
D10 and round down.
All right, so on a D10, I rolled a 5. So
All right, so that's going to be a 3. So you inflict 3 points of fire damage to him, and even though there's a flare sticking out of him and it's starting to catch his bandages on fire, he seems to still be absolutely locked onto Yakov. Barrett, you've been strafing from the side, and you get your salvo ready, and so your machine gun starts to clack up with that whirring sound. And remind me, what was that you rolled again? Was that a success?
It was a 17. So
17. All right, fantastic. All right, so you fire a bunch of bullets real close to Yakov as Yakov is being held by this form. So this is why I'm kind of doing in the order of operations, because that person also has a flamethrower, and you're firing right at him, holding a flamethrower, holding your friend, who's also caught on fire with a flare. So, how much damage did you inflict with your machine gun?
Let's find out. Because it's actually 2d10 damage, so let's see. That can't be right. 2d10 damage, right? Unless I add them.
If your damage is I believe that it is 2d10. I will verify here.
So is that like the D100, or is that adding the two?
No, it's adding them together.
Okay, so that would be 13 points of damage.
All right. Okay, so you fire this massive salvo. Part of it extends to Yakov. You take 3 points of damage from splash, and you
Sorry,
see
Brute,
that
I'm
these.
point of order. Point of order. Could Charles perhaps roll his military training to avoid hitting me, as he has probably been trained for firing in close combat?
I leave it up to the
You
GM.
also got grabbed, and you weren't expecting me grabbed.
I
And,
had to try.
I mean, there is a pretty large kill zone, unfortunately, with the. So, and you also rolled
No,
a
it's fine.
crit.
It's fine. If you don't want to have fun, it's cool.
Look,
You
John,
rolled a crit fail on your defense.
John,
This is not going to go very
John,
well.
if this were a machine gun for close quarter combat, but this is a machine gun for general purposes.
All right, so you're taking 3 damage, not 3 wounds.
Took it.
So it's not too devastating, but you see that the Gemna's form gets ripped apart by bullets. You right on her shoulder where he has the flare, you see the bandages get ripped open by the fusillade, and you see his flesh is this strange combination of wires and human flesh and blood. His flesh rips apart, and you see already these little wires questing to try to fuse back as his flesh is just being churned to a hamburger underneath him. Need to make another save for him, and all right.
Does anyone have any explosives in our group?
So, I have. What do I have? No, I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
I got one more flare. That's closest I got.
You could stick it inside of the hole in his torso.
So he's gonna use his flamethrower that he has queued up. So you hear that deep throaty whoomp sound of the flamethrower starting to fling fire. All right. So you, Yakov, are engulfed in fire, and you take one whole wound. So that is your kind of macro damage, is you are just completely washed in flame. You have your hazard suit, and that's AP5. So your AP5 would have soaked those 3 points of damage you had earlier. I forgot that you had this massive armor for scientist. So that machine gun didn't hurt you at all, but you lose it's not able to soak all of that. So your wound is so basically it soaks 5 of your wounds. You take 7 points of damage. So you are at 5 health of this current wound. We'll do it that.
Gotcha.
Way. Sorry, a little bit extra mathing there.
Not for me. Do the eye.
As he is he's getting attacked by all sides. I mean, he doesn't seem phased at all. If anything, he has this kind of, again, unsettling laughter, and you see something detached from his back that parts through his robe and smashes a button on the console. You hear a tape recording going over and over of chiming melodic bells like you would hear in a temple. And he says, "You have dared attack the prophets. The Avatar will be here for you. Get on your knees and beg for forgiveness."
Ooh, I'm not big on that.
Oh,
Well,
that's
you
a
know-
huge violation right there. We are not allowed to do that without the proper knee equipment. Also, we're not in a zoned area for kneeling. First of all, you are yourself are equipment, and kneeling or an equipment, unless it's tagged, not safe. I'm afraid we can't do that.
That's a
John,
point.
there's the title of our next MHP employees handbook is "You Are Equipment."
Oh, that's real good though, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
where's
you're
my
welcome.
notepad?
You're welcome. Yeah, so that's the Avatar, man. I think that it's Cameron who ought to get down on his knees and beg for forgiveness when it comes to, the Avatar, but that's a terrible joke. I'm excited to meet this abomination, this Avatar. So I'm gonna rack another tubo bullets. I like to imagine it's like a tube of biscuits, like just put that into my general purpose machine gun, and
It's like a drum. All right. So as that happens, who wants to roll me a d10?
fuck it, I'll do it.
All right.
I'm scared now. Critical
Yeah.
failure fucked me up.
I rolled a 9.
All right. As after you hear that you're hearing a clanging of bells going on, you see these monitors across the room start to light up one after another. And at first is this very severe face. It almost seems to be like a bronze statue gritting his teeth, giant, knotted, thick brows, and you can see that it's holding a spear and is crowned in fire. It then cycles to a panning camera across burning fields, and then it changes to a landscape, and you see text scroll across saying, "No water flows in the poison season, but at a weather's change, the valleys will flood with fire." And you feel something reverberate in the deck, rhythmically in the distance.
Cool.
So that's all kind of played out in a snapshot. The figure is flambeing Yakov and ordering all of you to kneel and beg for forgiveness.
Doesn't
Start of
seem
the next
likely.
round. What do you do?
Not that.
I kneel and beg for it. No, I'm just kidding.
Say you traitor.
No. Well, let's see. Weapons are ineffective. Something big is roughly nearby.
I mean, your machine gun is somewhat effective. There's a pile of human hamburger on the floor.
Right. Okay. You know what? I'll give him another salvo. How about that? See how he likes that. Well, actually, I should wait for Yakov to get free first. So I'm going to wait for him to struggle free of the. Or are you free of its tentacle?
You're gripped right now, but if you want, just as a quick aside, go ahead and make me an opposed strength check, Yakov. We'll do that as part of
Okay.
the previous round.
Let's see, what's my strength? My strength
Your
is
strength
29.
is 29.
I passed. I rolled an 18, so 11 points
So
under.
you're 10. All right. So, all right. So you break free of it. The flare that's sticking out of it and the chunks of flesh that have fallen off of it is slick with its own blood. So you pull yourself free of the tentacle. All right, so we'll have that as a precursor to this round, as for you to do your positioning. So, go ahead, state your actions, and let's resolve this.
I'm going to machine gun that motherfucker again.
All right. So you have one for machine gun. Daryl, you're giving a look.
I'm going to skitter back, I think.
Okay.
Wise.
I think skittering is on the menu, boys.
You're both skittering and smoldering, which is like a good combination. You know, when you skitter while you're giving off
Skitter
just a few
while you smold.
Yeah.
All right.
little wisps of
Daryl.
smoke coming off you.
Is there anything mechanical that I can utilize in this room?
Tell me what it is that you would like to do. So you see banks of consoles, like computer consoles and other types of equipment. There is some equipment that looks like it controls communication relays, other ones that look like it may have some function with the bay, like the spaceport bay, as like the hangar bay as well. But as far as there's no real heavy machinery
It's
here.
not like a forklift that I'm totally certified to use. Wink.
Not, unfortunately, not in here. In the bay area, there would definitely be a forklift to unload and offload equipment.
No, that's too far away. That's not gonna help. All right. It doesn't look like he's on top of, like, let's just say a Tesla coil that I could fry him with.
That does not seem to be an option. So,
Okay. Then I guess
and-
I load a flare back in the cat's butt.
well, I mean, you do have jury rigging and you have theology. You have things that you could.
Okay. Could I go up to a piece of equipment and like beep boop 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 beep boop 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 and try to like send a volt of current through the animated machine human cultist?
Well, looking at these being comm relay, it does not seem to have a lot of active voltage. But that being said, if you want to use your action to try to override the strange, creepy messages that are playing over the computer screens to stop that clanging of bells sound that's playing on a loop, or to try to figure out what's maybe coming this way as you're feeling the floor vibrate underneath you, those are viable actions.
Would you
Okay.
like a
They do seem like better actions than shoving a flare up my cat's butt again.
from the cat's perspective, absolutely.
Don't yuck my cat's yum.
That's right.
Yeah, I would go and try and stop the noise. Just for everyone's sanity, whatever's left of it.
I was enjoying them, but I'm cool with you turning it off.
It
All right.
reminds me too much of my childhood. I just can't deal
Yeah.
with it anymore.
Probably
So-
reminds John of his childhood by the sound of it.
So, Yakov, you're going to be tactfully retreating after breaking that grapple, sounds like, and moving to a better position. Barrett, you're going to be chuck, 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 chuck.
Boom, boom, boom. Yep.
Exactly. And Daryl, you're going to be hacking. You're going to be trying to operate this machinery to stop this extra noise and other distractions. All right. So, Yakov, you are able to tumble out of the way. Your suit is basically completely ruined at this point. There is plastic melting onto you. You are able to stop, drop, and roll and extinguish the flame spreading on yourself and scramble your way back to your companions. Daryl, as you are silencing these machines, you are noticing that the control panel seems to be fighting your intrusion, like there is an active system working against you. Every time you turn off the setting, something is turning it on. And you notice as you're doing this, there are cameras that are focused in on you. And you see that the lens of the camera is kind of panning in and out. You get the noise to stop, but you, for a second, right before you turn off the monitors, you are pretty sure you see your name going across it. I was about to say something, and then you turn off the screens prematurely. And Barrett, you let your salvo fire off. Go ahead and make me your combat roll.
That's 0 and 5.
That is a fantastic roll.
Sure is.
So now that Yakov is out of the way, you're able to really focus your fire.
Yeah. You bet.
I
How
fall
did
back
we
in the
do?
wet now.
Roll me that damage.
Let's see. That is a grand total of 12 points of damage.
All right. So you continue absolutely hammering Gemna with your rounds. He turns and looks at you as you are just letting your shots fire, and he begins to walk through the hailstorm of bullets towards you, and his serene smile is twisted and gnarled faced. This grows wide as he just opens his arms as if to embrace you. You see the
Aw,
flickering
how sweet.
flamethrower begin to go to the flicker, and you see that more meat is falling from his form. His chest is a terrible ruin, but the more flesh that like pours off of him, you see more of these wires now beginning to bifurcate and almost like weave themselves together as if they're starting to split and grow. And he's just leaving hunks and hunks of meat behind him.
So he's
his
like going Tetsuo.
That's a good way to do that. I will say that the Magnum Galaxy Press is from Canada.
Yeah. I saw that. That's awesome.
I had to figure out how I could shoehorn that joke in somewhere.
Oh man, Canada. I was actually delighted to see that the exchange rate is thus that if you happen to be a filthy Amerikanski, it is in your interest to support this game on Kickstarter because they are asking for contributions in Canadian dollars, and those are higher than US dollars.
So you have inflicted about 2 whole wounds against this person, which for a normal person, a mere mortal, would be lethal for most people. But he keeps coming. His form is just this wet mess, and you see there's got more and more mechanical bits. He churns his flamethrower, and he goes, should have asked for redemption. You could have been remade. And he kisses you softly with fire.
Yeah. Okay.
Purifying flame.
Cool.
And
Very cool. Do I roll counter that or
go ahead and roll me a body save.
Yep. It's a hell of a lot easier than a body shave. That is I add them together or are we doing the 100 system?
No, so this is like a skill basically. So this is like your quick reflexes to move out of the way.
Okay. So I rolled a 6 and an 8.
All right, so that is your 14, and
14.
for you, that should be a success. That it is.
Tuck and roll.
So you tuck and roll out of the way, and the flames just go wash over you. There's this roar, and you smell you see like all the candles that were on one side of the console just turn to water and just pour over everything.
Cool.
All of you start to feel something getting closer. Daryl, while you're in the computer system, are you wanting to hack into those camera systems and see what's coming, or
Yes.
are you wanting to use your CAT scan?
I mean,
what are the rest of you wanting to do as well? But yeah,
but yeah,
you know.
that you've mentioned the cameras a couple of times. I feel like I would be foolish not to try and see who is watching us.
I'm going to do a bioscan on our friend to see if he has any. I'm basically looking for any weak points. Like,
Thank you.
okay, yes, this part we're shooting is armored, but if I cut into his back flesh here, I can cut the wire that's controlling his arms.
Because I
Something
have
like
the
that.
feeling
okay.
like I'm kind of feeling the Iron Warriors credo right now, where like all I'm doing is like making him less weak. You know, um,
I want to well into like I created a character that is purely science, dude. Like
yeah.
any science issue I can handle. I can't do combat.
If there's a
So
problem, you'll solve it. Check out this book.
check out this monster while the scientist devolves it.
Yes. Yeah. Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, and then-
P.S. The reason my screen is so bright right now is I pulled up the Nirvana on Fire Kickstarter page.
Yeah. Make sure you post that link there so everyone throws their dollars in. And then, Barrett, what are you wanting to do?
I am reloading and firing yet again.
All right. So you slap in your next drum. So, Yakov, you run your bioscanner and you run over this gnarled and twisted form, this crude semblance of a man. As like a weird metric, you see that this person is lost half of their organic mass. It is just on the floor in heaps and piles. Your kind of sense is that you could remove enough flesh to make this thing stop working, to stop being alive. Maybe that's the kicker of it. You're not exactly
Regarding-
sure because this is something that's a biomechanical thing and you're used to all flesh. So that's your kind of educated guess.
Well,
I
can
do have
I
this-
roll?
Sure, if you want to make an intelligence check on top of that, by all
Yeah.
means.
Because while and I'm using my bioscanner as well, the reason why I'm being an insistent Nancy
Well,
is
a
because
bioscanner- you said you want to see what mechanical aspect, and a bioscanner is not going to tell you what kind of mechanical
right.
aspect. you need to-
However, it will show me what parts are showing up as gray and non-biological.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm combining like my zoology, my exobiology, and my bioscanner all on this.
So you don't stack your skills; you get one skill.
In that case, we'll
you can
use
use
my.
your item in your skill, but like they're
Let's see here. I need to roll under. All right, I rolled 50 under.
all right. So you are getting a sense that the form of this creature is trying to regenerate, and at some point, it's going to not have the sufficient amount of vital energy to continue doing that. So the best course of action at the moment seems to be continuing to strip away its flesh through brute force measures.
through the
Okay.
gentle application of the art of the
Of-
shotgun. Yeah.
I kind of shout over the sound of the gun, like, "All right, we're wearing him down. Keep going."
and I reply while pointing kind of with like, you know, the hand that's on the stock of the gun. I don't give a shit. I point at the big pile of flesh coming off the thing and I'm like, Dr. Muscles, don't eat that. I mean, that is protein. I worry about you, bro.
I prefer protein that I develop, not protein that I
okay.
find.
Okay.
And-
Yeah, I'm gonna just have another whack at him with the machine gun. So
All right.
let's see if I connect. That is a 6, so that's a big old yes. And for damage,
Rolling.
10.
All right. So you fire another salvo into its chest if it has something of a chest, and it stops for just a moment and it begins to wheeze. You hear something clicking like gears getting stuck or their teeth are stripped, and it pauses. and you see a little bit of its broad smile lessen, and it starts to get a little bit of a look of fear. You see that the pilot light almost seems to flicker in its flamethrower appendage. Meanwhile, Daryl, you are accessing these systems, so hacking isn't your strong point. So go ahead and just make this for me as a intellect check. Actually, you know what? You could use jury rigging at this point. I will do this under duress since you have your other tools.
26.
All right. So you changed your the monitor feed to reverse it so you could see what is starting to approach. In that reception area that's behind you, you see the doors slide open. So this is not too terribly far from you. And you see something that looks like a statue made of wires and conduits and diodes and other things, and it's holding something that almost looks like a giant sphere.
Hmm.
You can see every step it takes, it scratches and tears the floor a bit. It's this kind of throw these doors open, and it is advancing towards you. It's got little bits of like electricity spark off it, and it's just dripping with biogel. Um, all of you can now feel as it's getting closer its footfalls and reverberating through the deck. And in fact, when you look at this kind of crumbling form of Genna, he lifts his head and smiles. And he says, "The fear is here. The avatar is here. You should have knelt when you had the chance." And we can use that as our convenient time to put a pin in this and do our closing
Yay!
remarks. All of you get the kind of same glimpse of this thing moving, right in your peripheral vision as we kind of draw this sample to a close.
I love it. That was fun.
Alrighty. Thank
I-
you, Ian. And thank you, Nirvana on Fire. It is on Kickstarter right now, so if you have enjoyed listening to this, you
The
can
tiny
back it.
URL link to their Kickstarter is on our Twitter, Instagram. We'll put it in the chat and also the notes for this when we post it on YouTube. So
Mhm.
you should be able to find it. Also, if you just Google Nirvana on Fire TTRPG, you can find it that way. Yeah, it's a cool project. You should support it. The rewards are great. And like I said, take advantage of that exchange rate.
Yep, I have one of their other games. I have Prison Station Echo. Really high quality stuff. And Mothership is an awesome system that you should support the third party creation for it. And then that's one of the things is that Morkborg has grown so massive because of all the third party creators doing cool shit. And we're in a place where the Mothership is, the big box set for 1E is coming soon, and all this third party content is coming soon, so that will be awesome and we appreciate it. We got some cool shit cooking. Ian, your Kickstarter, not your Kickstarter, but Kickstarter you are involved in, Korg, just finished up the other day and was
Wow,
successful.
$2. Very successful.
Yeah, very successful game. We all have game stuff coming for Zine Quest. I signed the paperwork this afternoon and had a game design meeting this afternoon for that, so that was a lot of fun. We also have new books on the horizon. If you like me, if you like John, and I hope you do, I have a new book coming out in almost exactly 1 week called Ibiranu the Flesh Crafter, Children of the Gods, which is, I think, a pretty cool book. If you like fantasy and body horror and all that. If you like Cronenberg, that's sort of my jam. So I hope you will check that out. And as always, look, we have a website. It's onemoncast.com. You can check it out. You can find all of our socials. You can find One Mon social, like our Twitter and our Instagram and our Facebook. And if you're watching this on Twitch right now, right this second, if you are here with me, then you can hit subscribe. And if you are a Prime member, you get in for free.
Give
you can
us those
follow,
Bezo bucks.
you can like. If you're watching this on YouTube, like and follow. All of this stuff helps our algorithm and helps us spread and gain new followers. We are also on audio only. If you don't want to look at our dumb faces, but you want to hear our dumb voices, you can do it that way. Anywhere you get your podcast, we are probably there. And again, we don't have money to spend on advertising. So if you like what you hear, tell some people about it. Help us spread the word. It really, really helps. It was fun playing tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, audience, for joining us on this consensual journey we call Wandering Monster. My name is John Baltusberger.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
Ian Servas.
Mr. Paschke.
Go back Nirvana on fire, and we will see you next week. Ciao.